What's that say? 19? It's one of the colder mornings of the season, Rex. But it's 28 degrees warmer than it was 3 Saturdays ago when it was 9 below on February 4th. But definitely, Friday nights have been the nights for Arctic fronts, or Arctic air. The front came through yesterday. So we have a nice high barometer, up at 30.55 on your barometer. It says fair weather, yet it's a cloudy sky. What's going on? So many things to talk about. I really want to discuss how such a fair weather system is resulting in clouds and a wall of snow coming at us from the west. High pressure is a result of two things usually. Either confluence aloft, when the air up around 10,000 or 15,000 feet comes together up in the sky and pushes down on the ground. That's subsidence, that makes high pressure. Those high pressure systems are usually not as cold as this kind of high pressure. This high pressure is a result of dense, cold air, a blob of cold coming on the backside of the storm that I want to talk more about that just crossed the coast to coast. So if we look at the 500 millibar flow, you see the yellow there over Pennsylvania near New York City. That wind up in the sky is going at about 100 to 110 knots. And then you look at northern Vermont, that wind is at about 50 knots. So a lot of wind up in the sky, but the fact that it's so much stronger near New York City than it is in Vermont, that causes diffluence. That is, the really fast air is rushing away from the slower air, causing vertical velocity, upward motion in the atmosphere, resulting in this blob of snow coming in from the west. Another thing that's going on, too, is this very cold air is coming in from the north, and it's begun to snow on Cape Cod. Thank you, Brandon. 6th day in a row with snow somewhere in New England, coming in a little earlier than I had thought it might come in. We can look at the 850 also for today. There's that blue I talk about, with that blue always being sort of the divide between the really cold and the really warm, and that's where the storm track is. So it's not a storm coming in today, but it is snowing enough to coat the ground again in some spots. What's this thermometer say? Oh boy, it says about 23. So it did not get as cold. There's my pea garden. How are they doing in there? It did not get as cold in Boston as the Euro had said it would be in the single numbers this morning. It got down to 13. I took the Euro because it did so well that 3 Saturdays ago with that 10 below. Well, the models that were warmer are better today, and of course these clouds coming in. Anyhow, so it's a light snow, weak warm front today, and it kind of turns into a triple point low tomorrow. Although, look at this evening, darker blue over Cape Cod. Maybe we get some ocean enhancement, so a few of us getting a little bit of snow today. And then tomorrow there's a warm front and a cold front going by northern New England, and that's going to result in another batch of snow, day 7, with some snow somewhere in New England. Rex is saying, can we go inside now? It's not frigid, but it's pretty darn cold. No, Rex, we got more to talk about. So what's going on? Did we verify a blizzard in Southern California? We asked Jacob Feuerstein about that. It looks like there was wind to 90 and 3 feet of snow and inches of rain, so it looks like we did verify. That system's coming across the nation, and look at it on our doorstep here on Monday. That is going to bring snow and a mix to New England on Monday and night into Tuesday, but no longer into Wednesday. It looks like it's going to be racing out into the ocean. Why don't I show you the ocean pattern here? So that hurricane force low that's out in the middle of the ocean, that's the one that came in off the Pacific back on Monday and crossed the country with the 1 to 2 feet of snow across the country. And it says rapidly intensifying. It's going to take a left and head up toward Greenland. So there's our Greenland block that's going to push colder air back down into eastern Canada, keeping us cold most of this week. But notice the storm track. They're coming across and racing south of New England. One's supposed to miss us south of New England here late next week. I don't know about that. Anyhow, and then they go in circles out there. And the fact that there's no stalling and no upper level low stuck around here means it does not look like Norland Trough, and it does not look like we can get a season's worth of snowfall in eastern Massachusetts here on our Tuesday into Wednesday. As a matter of fact, now it looks like the heaviest snow wants to fall in Connecticut with less than 4 or 5 inches here in eastern Massachusetts. Now, that's a moving target. It's going to change. The GFS is wetter, but it's also warmer, and it says the snow in Boston will be changing to rain Tuesday. So that's going to be something that we're going to talk more about as we get closer. I just really am fascinated in all the weird little things that are going on, like how it snowed 2 days ago with the warm air aloft, and then today we have high pressure with clouds and snow coming in again today. So lots of little things, and that negative North Atlantic oscillation should keep us on the cold side with a threat for rain and or snow, mostly snow, for the next 5 days. But then the Euro in about 10 days does warm it up, and it looks like we may have a ridge coming back to the southeastern United States by the second week in March, and that would be a little bit later than it's been the last few months. But talked to Bob Copeland yesterday, and he says he thought that this winter was going to be something like 56, 57. I think that's the winter he said when we had 3 blizzards in March. So I'll talk more about that this week. I'll leave you with the spinning pussy willow out the window where I work. Poor pussy willow going in circles, but it'll be fine. Stuff that's in bloom is hardy. Unlike T-Rex, who is not hardy and he wants to go inside. Oh yeah, and we have a contributor, Ed Kelly, brother, on the north side of Cape Cod yesterday. With the seas on Cape Cod Bay, Sassuat Incorporation in Dennis. And last evening, the sky. Did you see the moon and Jupiter and Venus? All right. Happy weekend. My bright idea of putting that pussy willow there. It's driving me nuts. If I go and try and undo it, I'm gonna kill myself on the ice on the deck. It's a new window meter. Out the window, metering wind. Which is gusting past 35 miles per hour, I guess. Brisk. Flag's looking good though. Pussy willow came undone a little bit, but it's still there. Cold air advection. Going down to the single numbers tonight. Winter is not over.